Good afternoon. It is Friday afternoon, and this is What's Your Story? Each week here on RVN TV, we bring you a guest who is authentic, who's going to share insights and practical information that you can apply immediately. Today, my guest is Bill Morrow. Bill's a managing principal at Empirical Consulting Services. Bill, welcome to What's Your Story?
Charlie. I'm really happy to be here and back on RVN TV. Always great shows, and I'm looking forward to it.
We're going to have fun.
Yeah.
What is Empirical Consulting Services?
Empirical is a business transformation company that is in the business of helping companies get from one point to another and really getting to that next level.
In doing my research for the show, I found two very interesting phrases that you use a lot, the company uses a lot.
Yeah.
One is the word horsepower.
Yep.
And the other is transformation. Can you share with the audience what you mean when you say we bring horsepower?
Yeah, in today's world, it's difficult for small and medium-sized businesses to really have the necessary people to have them on staff. We all know everyone's been downsized, everyone's wearing multiple hats, and it's tough to have all of those people on staff that can do what you need to do or have the experience you need in order to do the projects you need to get done or even just to get to the next level. So our additional horsepower comes from our team and our people have had a tremendous amount of life experience, and they understand what it takes to get to the next level. They understand what it takes to come in and implement change and do what needs to get done in order to get to where you need to go and where you want to be.
So the clients have an aspirational objective.
Correct.
So explain how the word transformation fits in for you and your company.
Yeah, transformation is all of our customers have an idea where they're at and they know where they want to go, and either they are struggling to get from this point to that point, or some of them are going so rapidly, they're worried that they're going to go off the rails and blow right by where they were trying to go. So we see both of those types of customers. So transformational for us is laying out the roadmap, understanding and defining the problems that you may have or the challenges you have to get to that next point, and then filling in the gaps for you.
Thanks for sharing that. We've noticed over the last 5 to 10 years, more and more people coming into the world of consulting.
Yep.
They use much of the same language as you do.
Sure.
I don't know them. I don't know whether they're good or not.
Yeah.
So could you share with the audience what you've learned is the difference in how Empirical approaches things and maybe what other people do?
Yeah, absolutely. Many people are out there running around as consultants right now. I even hate using the word because it has this negative connotation. And consulting is often used in the same term as, oh, you're looking for another job. And especially on the smaller companies or the individuals. And it gets the people that are actually out there doing it and doing it well, it gives them a negative knock, and it's hard for it to get past it. So you make a really astute observation there. What makes us different and what we do that's different is not only are we going to come in and sit with you and build strategy and understand the problem and help you build that roadmap to where you want to go, but we're going to come shoulder to shoulder with you and we're going to implement. And that's the difference with ECS as opposed to any other consultants out there. You don't see the big ones doing that type of work, and you don't typically see the small ones because that's when it gets hard. That's where you have to be innovative. That's where you have to make a difference in the company's business and what they're doing. And you have to be smart enough to know and agile enough to know that everything you wrote up here in the front and designed and built isn't going to always work on the back end. So our difference is we'll walk you right through that process to that point even that we become executives in your company. I'm a VP of sales in 2 companies right now.
Really?
My partners are COOs in companies, and we're there on a fractional basis and giving them that extra horsepower they need to get to the next level.
So give us a practical example that we could get our heads around as what this looks like
Sure.
in the real time.
So in the real time today, I was telling you in the green room, I ran over here from a meeting with a customer of mine where we were talking to a company out on the West Coast, a biomed company, and she's an RPO or recruiting process outsourcing company that has got a great story to tell, and I helped her fashion that story and do that, and I'm her chief success officer, and I come in and I sit with her and I work with her on calls with customers, and I interact with customers, and I become her liaison with customers and back and forth. So I built out all her sales plan, her marketing plans, and everything else. But more importantly now, and this is where we've been able to double the size of her company in 10 weeks, is we were able to come in and I'm actually there shoulder to shoulder with her, and I would have been late if I had to have been to here in order to get her next deal and get that deal done for her.
So what's going on in the minds of these people, we'll call them prospects,
Yeah.
that's causing them to need a person like you? So what's the inflection point? If I'm having dinner this weekend
Yeah.
with a friend, what could come out of his or her mouth that would tee you up,
Yeah.
if you will, that there's a need for a conversation between you and that person?
Most everything comes down to revenue and profitability at the highest levels. There's a pain point or an issue that that's affecting the revenue and our ability to grow revenue or ability to be profitable or grow profitability in our business. It starts there. And then it comes down to specific issues. For instance, we get involved with a lot of companies early on a sales side where they may say, I need to hire a bunch of salespeople, or I've hired salespeople and they haven't worked. There's been issues around driving revenue. I hired assassins or great salespeople or aces that told me they were going to bring a book, Rolodex, and they were going to solve all my problems, and it didn't work. That on the sales side. On the operations side, we've seen companies that have wanted to build 3PLs out, so third-party logistics,
right,
that we have expertise in. And my team came in, and we've been into 2 companies now that were biomed and consumer products companies that really just needed someone to show them how to build a 3PL out. They thought it was easy. They flip a switch, call UPS, flip a switch, UPS does the rest. Doesn't work that way. You have to have the processes built. You have to have the understanding. You have to know how all of it comes together. We sit in the room and negotiate deals with them. So all of those things, any pain point or companies that are growing really rapidly. We've seen a lot of millennial companies that they're growing really rapidly, and they say, we're a little bit out of control and I don't have these key positions filled. I'd like to have somebody come in here and take a look, build the foundation out, help us get to that point, and then hire an executive or a person that can come in and take it from the next.
Thank you. That explains things quite well.
Yeah.
Share with the audience who those target industries are, or companies by size or by
Sure.
industry niche.
Sure. We're industry agnostic. We've been in now 26. Yesterday we added our 27th industry. So we always joke that we should get better at staying in one industry. That way we don't have to recreate stuff all the time. We find a lot of the stuff carries over that you have, but you always are having to recreate and learn a little bit new industries. But that's okay. We enjoy the challenge, and part of the reason we got into what we were doing is we enjoy that challenge. But we'll work across whole different levels. The main key is having somebody that is willing to change and willing to bring in somebody on the outside and listen to and take advice and work collaboratively with us in order to get them to the next level. If we've got that, that is a great customer for us. If we're going to fight that, or if it's going to be a problem and we're going to have to fight every step of the way, we walk from those engagements no matter how much money is involved, because it's just not worth our time. It's not going to be good for them. It's not going to be good for us. We're all going to end up unhappy at the end.
So you don't necessarily build the need, you respond to the need. They have to know they have a
Correct.
need that you can
Yeah.
satisfy.
Yeah, we're not going to go in there and sell you that our solutions or our abilities are going to really make a difference in your world. We believe that, and we believe in most of the cases that to be true, but that's not what we're there to do. You have to have the understanding is, I could do this better, or we really need some help over in this area or this arena, and we'll come in and help you out.
Give me an example of a prospect that really surprised you in arriving at the conclusion that the two of you needed to collaborate?
I think it would probably the last one, my last customer that we just spoke about, a company that was typically smaller than what we typically do. It was sub $1 million. We typically are in $2 million plus to $150 million companies. And she saw the value though. And I give her a lot of credit. She understood the value, understood what we were doing, and saw the value of what we were bringing.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we focused on your company. When we come back, I want to focus some on you.
Yeah.
People buy you, they buy the company second. That's what I've heard. I'd like to hear your take on that as well.
Sounds
we'll
good.
be right back. Now,
When did you see the sign?
When I needed to jumpstart sales.
Build attendance for an event.
Help people find their way. Fast Signs designed new directional signage.
And got them back on track. Get started at fastsigns.com.
Welcome to Live Better Longer, the show for baby boomers who want to improve and even extend their retirement years. I'm your host, Bill Borton. On Live Better Longer, our viewers meet and learn from a wide variety of experts and thought leaders who share their knowledge on subjects ranging from portfolio management to nutrition management, from insurance, Social Security, and reverse mortgages, to annuities, Medicare, and Roth IRA conversions. Not just thought-provoking and actionable information, but why it's important to you. Tune in every Tuesday at 11 on RVN TV for reliable and unbiased information from experts in their field who are committed to helping you live better longer.
Is your business growing and now you need a new and bigger building? Has your organization outgrown their facility and now it's time to expand?
Do your hobbies require the need for more space?
If you're paying rent, but now you want the advantages of owning, the prospect of financing, construction, and on-time completion may seem out of your reach. General Steel Corporation has the answer.
A pre-engineered steel building from the General will not only look great and satisfy almost any need, but you'll save time and money. Our team will help you create your building and deliver it to your location. We offer design services to help you present your concept to board members, bankers, or for fundraising. And the General can even help with financing. General Steel is a name you know, with quality backed by a 50-year structural warranty. Call today and find out how easy it is to have the building you want. You may even save up to $20,000 with rebates. If you need space, you need the General.
Welcome back. I'm here today with my guest, Bill.
Yes.
Bill's with the managing principal of Empirical Consulting Services. And we've been talking about the world of consulting and how his company approaches this concept of transformation. I've done a little homework on you. And
Uh-oh.
Well,
Should I be worried?
No, I think it's great because what it says is you've had 6 careers.
I have.
You've worked, or pardon me, 3 careers, and you've had 6 different employers.
Correct.
That you work for, and it's very diverse.
Very diverse.
So,
Never did me good until now.
so what caused you to pivot into this line of work? Because you hadn't done this before.
No, I
So,
never had.
Explain to the audience why, why do this?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's one I love answering. It really goes to the core of who we are as a team, but because we all have similar stories, the 3 partners and I was really tired and was running around out there feeling like I was doing a lot of work that really wasn't getting a lot of results. 50-60% of my time was managing up to the political nonsense that you get in any large company. And while I felt good about the work overall that these companies I was part of was doing, I didn't feel like I was giving a lot of value and I wasn't giving a lot back to the folks that I was working with.
That's a common problem.
Horrible, yeah, you see that all the time. And I was sitting in an airport in Memphis, Tennessee. I remember the day very clear.
Good barbecue.
Great barbecue. I had some Central Barbecue in the afternoon. Had a good time. That was all good. So it
Was
wasn't
that
the
one
barbecue.
of the perks of traveling?
It was. I can tell you the good places to eat no matter where you're at. You give me a city, I'll tell you where to eat. And I was sitting there. I was on my 4th flight of the night. It was a Thursday night in Memphis, Tennessee. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this. I love the people I work with. It was a great company I worked for, no problems whatsoever. And I just wasn't feeling like I was giving what I wanted to give back and do what I wanted to do. And I had talked to a couple of people who had been in the consulting world, and I had opportunities to go to the big consulting companies, and I saw that too, and I looked at the work they were doing, and I've hired many of them, and we weren't happy. I wasn't happy with going down that route. It was just going to be another route.
It would have been very secure.
Very secure, more money than I make now, but it was not. It wasn't going to drive my purpose, and it wasn't going to be who I was.
So share that with us. This purpose, they call it the why.
The why.
Can you define for us what personally drives you every day to do this kind of work?
There is nothing more satisfying or exciting when you take a company that has either been struggling or stuck in neutral and they haven't been able to get to the next level, and you're able to take them to the next level. I love what we get paid, and that's obviously an important part of what we do, but there's nothing more satisfying to watch somebody that's a CEO or a founder of a company who's lost that passion that they had at one point and regain that passion when you come in and take some of the burden off their shoulders, and you give them a path forward and show them how to get there, because we've been there, we've done that, we know how to do it, and to really get them to the next level and watch them succeed. One of my latest customers, greatest compliment I can get, she said to me, I really appreciate having you here. You're so much more than just my CSO. You really helped me drive everything, and you've brought the passion back. I'm excited to get up in the morning, and we've doubled the size of her company in 10 weeks. And that's not normal, but it worked out. We did our homework, and she's excited. She's fired up to come to work. She's glad to be there, and she's making money again.
70% of the people that drove to an office building today want to go to a different office building because they're not happy. They're not engaged. I think the audience will agree. You're engaged in doing this kind of work.
Yes.
So what's the most, if there was a dictionary of successes in this world that you live in, what would be next to your picture in that dictionary? What would you point to as saying that is a great example of satisfying, meaningful work?
Yeah. Twofold answer. One, I know what I'm good at, and I didn't always know. I always told people I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up until 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I realized this is what I want to do. So I'm good at that and understand that. But the more important thing is you and I consider ourselves go-givers, and I love watching other people succeed and having a string of successful customers behind us that we came in, did what we said we would do, executed, and then left because we had gotten the company to where we needed to get them, and then removed ourselves, something consultants often don't like to do, but removed ourselves so the customer can continue to grow. We've got 2 customers that went into the Inc. 5000 this year. We'll have another couple next year. Those are exciting. Those are the wins. Those are the check marks I say that made that day, that year successful.
How do you find your clients? Is this a referral-based business? Is this something where you're doing a lot of social media? How do they find you and get to you?
A little bit of everything. We've got a great marketing person, Laurel Cavalluzzo, who does all of our marketing and is our marketing lead for our company as well. She has a nice plan built out, but a lot of it is word of mouth and doing good work. Right now, people ask me what we do for business development. I tell them we answer the phone because the phone's ringing so much. We just pick up the phone and we get people to chat with us, and we don't do a lot of selling. I don't have a pitch deck. We come in, we listen. We often just get started on that first time that we're in front of you. We're listening. We start working, and sometimes we fix things on the first stop, and they don't need us right away, which is good. That's a win. And then later on, they bring us in for some more work.
On your website, there's a particular page that attracted me, and that was your process. From hello, how are you? We're empirical all the way through the kind of outcomes that you can create for them. Will you walk us through that process?
Yeah, we use the DMAIC process, which is a Lean Six Sigma DMAIC process, and that really came from Chris Lee, our founding partner. He was a Lean Six Sigma black belt, is a Lean Six Sigma black belt, now was, and he brought that process and uses that process as a foundation of everything we do, whether it's sales, marketing, operations, supply chain. It's our core.
So when we come back from commercial, because we need to take a break, I'd like you to walk through those steps for the audience so they understand how thorough and deep you go, because you're very selective about the people with whom you work.
Correct.
And I think the audience needs to understand the process that you bring to the table. We'll be right back after these messages.
Do you see the sign?
When I needed to jumpstart sales.
Build attendance for an event.
Help people find their way. Fast Signs design new directional signage.
And got them back on track. Get started at fastsigns.com.
Hey everyone, this is Donna Valente, Sales Performance and Leadership Coach and founder of the Enterprise Sales Institute. Join me every Wednesday at 11 o'clock here with RVN TV on That Sales Show. On this show, we are going to share with you best practices in emotional intelligence, sales process, and sales strategy with some of the industry's biggest thought leaders. So, don't forget, 11 o'clock Wednesday here with RVN TV and That Sales Show.
Got a quarter?
Welcome back. I'm here with Bill. Bill is my guest. Bill Morrow is the managing principal of Empirical Consulting Services, and we're talking about the consulting process that he brings to clients to move them from where they are to where they need to be or want to be. And he's about to break it down into the steps. Bill, could you pick up where we left off?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we use the DMAIC process, and the first thing that's important is to define what the problem is. And we often get into customers who will say to us, yeah, we know what the problem is, Bill. It's over here in sales. And I'll go in and we'll take a look, and I'll say, yeah, you've got some issues over there, but your root cause is really over there. And that's really the big reason we got all together as partners and provide solutions across sales, marketing, operations, HR, and finance, is because we saw that root causes happen all over companies and business doesn't get done in silos. So it's very important for us to define the problem, measure and analyze what's going on that we can adjust, because every company has some good and every company has some bad. We don't want to lose the good. We want to get rid of the bad and implement what the change to what'll get you to the next level. We implement that change, and that's define and measure is about the time you'll see most consultants disappear, because now it gets hard. Now I got to innovate, I got to develop plans, I got to redevelop plans, we got to implement stuff, and then obviously there's a control piece at the end, because once you've implemented, you want to continue doing what you were doing, and process-wise, you want to continue doing the good process and get rid of the bad, and you have to implement and control that process.
So what is the role that you like to play in that process? Where is your sweet spot? Where do you get the most joy?
Yeah, it's a great question. I've never had that question, and it made me think. So I love identifying the good and the bad, because often customers think this is good, and I have to often come in and say, no, that's okay, but that's not good. Here's what good looks like. Good is over here, and this is where we want to be, especially in sales, and I'm the sales lead. So you have to know that.
So in the sales process, you're being that candid and direct with them?
Yeah, we find that it doesn't do you any good if you hired us and we're not direct and we're not telling you the way it is. That's a problem. And we've had, I'll give you some examples, we've had times where we've gone out and done the work, come back and the CEO says, what's the problem? When we say it's you. And
wow.
It's a tough conversation, and then we work through options.
Before you get the check or after you get the check, Bill?
Before. We should really rearrange that, right?
No, but it's working for you.
It does work for us. That candid approach always works. And I'll tell you, those are some of our best engagements, because usually that person's self-aware enough to know somewhere in the back of their head, yeah, I might be the issue. And we work with them on how you not to become the issue. Sometimes that means bringing in other people to do the things they didn't like doing anyhow, like being an operator or being a salesperson. Often they're like running those departments and they don't want to run those departments. We help them find their niche and we show them how to get there.
How about that?
Yeah.
And I also noticed in looking at your team, it's quite diverse.
Yes.
So what is it that you're looking for in team members to come in and help you deliver this process to those clients that fit your requirements?
Yeah, so we're looking for people not only that can be up here, talk strategic in the boardroom with the CEO and the CFO, talk about the problems from a big level, but actually drill down, walk on the floor of the manufacturing plant or out in the field with the salespeople or talking to customers on customer service calls and can implement and see where things need to get changed. Because that, can't tell you how many times we walk through the door and they'll go, that's a brilliant idea. Where'd you guys get that idea? And I will say, well, we got it from that person that's answering your phones from your customers. They had the idea. All we did was walk down there and talk to them.
We talked earlier about the people who are consulting long enough to get a full-time job.
Yeah.
And that they sometimes can give a bad name to the word consultant.
Yeah.
Exactly doing that.
Correct.
So where do the people come from? It seems to make the people, let me back up for a minute. In the business-to-business world, where most of the people you work with come from,
Correct.
It's all about what we do and how we do it. What is different about your people?
Yeah, our people are rare. They're hard to find. We talk to a lot of folks. We get a lot of people that want to join, but we're looking for people that absolutely can look into the business and look into the heart of the business, identify root causes like we talked about earlier, put that back into a package and articulate it back to the end client. Here's what you need to do and here's how you need to change it, and then ultimately implement that change on a ground level basis. And I'll give you an example. I'll come in early into an organization and work on high level things like their messaging and what their USP is. But later on, I'm on phone calls with their salespeople. I'm doing presentations with them. We're seeing what works. It's hard to find somebody that can function here and function here.
Well, I can tell you, most people prefer to be in the boardroom.
Yeah.
There's stature to that. But
yeah.
In order to get the job done, you have to get out there and roll your sleeves up.
You do.
Because change happens in the middle.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen in the boardroom. It happens in the middle.
Correct.
And you guys seem to excel
Yes.
at doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming on the show. But this is the time that I give my guests an opportunity to look into the camera and make an ask.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you want to ask the audience, feel free to go ahead and do that.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity again to both RVN and yourself to allow me on the show. It's been great. And we are looking for...
Bill, you're worth it.
Thank you. And really, normally you'd hear me pitch for our company, and that's not our problem. Our problem is finding good people, and we're looking for good people. If you think you are one of those unique talents that can play here and here, we'd love to talk to you.
And what's the usual hit rate of people that knock on your door and want to work with you guys? Because you have a great reputation.
Yeah, I would say about 1 out of every 10.
So if you're 1 out of 10, Bill wants to talk to you. So Bill, how do people get in touch with you?
You can reach me via the website at www.thinkempirical.com or through my email, which is bmorrow@thinkempirical.com.
How about a phone number?
610-310-6707.
Repeat that. People are looking for a pencil.
They're running around now?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
610-310-6707.
I really want to thank you.
Thank you.
What I always love about you is you're authentic, you're open, you're telling it like it is.
Yep.
And that's what you do with your clients, and that's a key to success.
Yeah.
There is research
Sure
that
do.
says the more vulnerable you are, the more successful you become. I think you're a great example of that.
Well, thank you.
I want to thank all of our people in the audience for tuning in today. We're getting great feedback from you. You like what we're doing. We're going to keep doing it. Every week we'll bring you a guest who's authentic, who's going to share insights and very practical information that you can put to good use. So I want to thank you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next week on RVN TV with What's Your Story. Thanks again.